Mike Alessi sweeping around the outside. That is a classic Mike Alessi hole shot, one of the best
positions. And 3-digit up there too.
There's Stewart on the
207.
7. Stewart is on the 7. 29, the red bike there on the right side. Stewart on the yellow, number 7. Dungey on the orange 5. And Alessi trying to get away from them all, leading on the 800.
Which, a team that James talked about signing with last fall, Yoshimura Suzuki, said, hey, we still want you to jump on the team.
Well, next year, he just wanted to get out here on the bike, basically for pride, and he's going to go for the title. He's racing for the record books, and he's racing to get his motocross legs back underneath him. And Mike, so good when he gets a start. He'll make it tough to make passes. Dungey's learning that lesson right now. Dungey also has to worry about Stewart right behind him. And look at how rough this track is. Dungey switches up on him again, and this time he takes the lead.
Makes it look easy, just really set him up nicely. Look at Alessi, he's coming back down the inside.
And he makes the pass, so Alessi.
Stewart won the race. Moto won pretty easily. Dungey had a ride from outside the top 10, came up to 3rd. So it's going to be a real showdown between the 2010 faster than Alessi right now, and everyone's backing up because of that.
Here comes Stewart, Jeff, around the outside. He makes the move, the crowd comes to life, and he's going to go for Alessi as well. Can he get 2 riders? No, Alessi beats him to the inside. He can. No, Alessi shuts the door for a 2nd time.
See, same thing that happened there. They've got the same exchange going. Let's see if, yeah, see Stewart, he's to the inside. He holds that line.
Stewart is able to make the pass complete. But look at Alessi trying to come back on the inside.
Dungey's been really patient, but he needs to get it.
And
Dungey to the inside.
Wow, walking the tightrope. That is not easy to maintain momentum on the inside, but he does it. He makes the pass, and he's going back after Stewart to boot.
We talked about this pre-race. Stewart was favored. He shows a lot of speed. He started out the day instantly your fastest qualifier for the Moto win.
Well, it's uncharted territory for both of these riders, Jeff. They're both switching to new bikes. Dungey's never ridden the KTM in a motocross race. Stewart has only been on the Suzuki for a couple of weeks. As he has dominated here in Hangtown. Welcome back to motocross. Welcome back to Victory Lane. James Stewart. Couple of the Yamaha boys bumping and grinding through there. Looks like it might be Regal. Yes, the number 36 on the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota on this track, Jeff.
Well, I've actually fallen with the hole shot before, and I can tell you, it's pretty frustrating. You can see they put down really deep and sloppy. What they've tried to do is monitor the water. Oh, James Stewart up in the 2nd.
Goes around the outside and he cuts in front of Dungey, so he takes over the number 2. And now he's under fire from Stewart. Here goes Stewart around the outside.
Wow, bounces into the outside and takes the lead.
Scrubbing it together, and that'll put Stewart on the inside of this right-hander.
Let's see if anybody jumps into the Texas 12-pack. Now the 450 guys opting to just hit that tabletop and then get into these rollers.
Yeah, keep a close eye on the front of Dungey's bike there. You can see his number 5 already covered with a lot of the mud.
Same spot.
Yeah, same spot. Stewart tried to go after Izzy. Dungey will do the same. Favorite lines when Izzy's running up front. And we'll show you a little bit further. Yeah, no, show you a little further back. Was Josh Grant? He's still there, the number 33. Stewart had a little bit bigger lead than this a few laps ago, but Dungey has been slowly but surely inching up on him, although in racing terms, slowly but surely is a relative term. They're both going very fast.
That section stays wet all afternoon, and it gets rutted and it gets dark. You know, the dirt is dark under there, and you go from the light,
right,
you know, the sunshine into the shade. I think it's going to open up lines.
Well, we'll see if Dungey can use some of those new lines to try to make a move on Stewart. Right now, everyone just kind of anticipating when or if the number 5 is going to be able to make a run.
Race a week ago in Hangtown, Dungey had to come from behind in the first moto. The second moto, they got together. Looked like we were going to see this type of battle. Then it's, you know, for the Toyota Yamaha team and everybody at Gibbs, it's, you know, it's been since they've been in motocross. It's been so up and down. They've had spikes. Okay, but really starting to put the pressure on James Stewart and the crowd here. You come through the main area. Look at the crowd on the left. Woo! They're going nuts.
They almost touch wheels in midair over this jump. Dungey's going for the kill now. He's going for it on the inside.
Deep in this moto, Dungey's fitness looks to be solid. He's working it hard.
Going around the outside. He's going to miss one of those jumps. Countdown clock not down to 0. So we will have 2 laps to go
and that's why it ran out of fuel. It's not like the mechanic didn't put enough gas in it.
Right. The
It was
gas
just
evaporated, basically.
the conditions were so tough. This year, this is all the perfect conditions. So far, so good. Oh, Dungey with a big drive coming into the 12-pack.
Here we go, side by side. I don't know if Stewart has room to shut the door. He does, and Dungey gets a little bit sideways, and that's going to allow Stewart to hold on to the lead. Find some magic somewhere. He's certainly close enough to get it done, but does he have a spot picked out, or can he try to break Stewart, push Stewart into a mistake? I got to admit, Stewart has been pretty flawless despite all the pressure he's been feeling.
And Laninovich there, some other lap riders everywhere, Jason.
Yeah, that's making a big difference, but once again, it looks like Stewart able to negotiate a little bit better than Dungey. Questions A, of his fitness, or B, of his ability to handle the pressure. He has answered it here in Moto 1. He takes the win in Texas. Looks like Stewart's teammate Brett Metcalf led them into turn 1 of the 24, but he went wide. Out in Stewart. There he is on the offensive again, goes by them both, Jeff.
Wow, Stewart takes an inside line as Dungey and Alessi were battling coming into turn 2. Right out front, first and second in Moto 1. Battling it out already here early in Moto 2. This is the race the fans want to see.
Now we're in Texas, totally different conditions, but a very similar race has broken out early in Moto 2.
Very much so, and you can see just how wet the track is in spots. Oh, and Dungey makes a mistake.
450 division was here in Texas a couple of years ago, 2009. Here's Dungey trying to get him back.
Let's see if this is going to work for Dungey. Yes, and Alessi.
And race him 2 more times around. So plenty of time for Dungey or Alessi to try to challenge Stewart. This year, they have gone back and forth. Personally, he said it's nothing like that between he and Dungey. It's just made the best man win. They're 2 racers going for it, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now.
And on the flip side is Dungey often gets, kind of like, underestimated on his speed. Consistent, maybe not. But right now, the
battle is on here from Freestone Raceway in Texas. James Stewart on the number 7, Ryan Dungey on the number 5. They have been duking it out like this for the entire race. Yeah, and he was right behind Tommy Hahn, who's at 6. Here goes Dungey. First time we've seen him pull up alongside Stewart. And Stewart grabs a handful of throttle and holds him back. Whoa, Dungey a little sideways.
Yeah, we got to see how Stewart reacts to that. Now Dungey really starting to put the pressure on. It was just 1 year ago. He was riding the same team, the same bike as James Stewart. Had the second moto in hand. I mean, he dominated Moto 2 and had the bike fail on him on the final lap when he had the overall in hand.
Everywhere Stewart goes, Dungey's found a different line to try to stay next to him.
I mean, look at the fluidity of these riders right now. They are just, Stewart! Big mistake! And this is where Dungey caught up last lap. Stewart, your points leader.
Yeah, not only able to just prevent himself from crashing, but holds on to the lead. Why is that? It didn't even lose much time.
No big deal. Been through that before. But he did save it this time in one line, and that's the type of track this is there's different lines all over, and the track changes as this moto has gone on. But Dungey has to do something special because Stewart gets out of sequence right here, and he's gonna, there he gets back in, loses a little bit of time, and look at Dungey flying way around the outside, trying to go for the lead.
Shading to the inside on Stewart, now going to the outside.
Dungey has had a really good run down through this section in the previous laps.
Here he goes. He gets a drive. They're side by side. Can Dungey get the lead for the first time? Stewart beats him to it again. Now Dungey's got him squared. No, he tried to back it.
Getting lapped, and Stewart, the pressure is on right now. You know the heart rate for both of these athletes have to be all the way in the red zone. They're battling out, and this is for the overall. Performed brilliantly here today. And Dungey makes the mistake this time.
Did that line go away, Jeff? It looked very rough.
He just didn't get over that little tabletop beforehand.
Second place. Try to get as close to Stewart as possible. If he makes a small mistake, maybe he can get by. But there's no doubt about it. Time is running out. He's close.
Imagine if it comes down
to that Texas 12-pack. Oh, man.
Sipes and Brayton, they're battling for position themselves.
And they are in the top 20. They are actually battling for points-paying positions.
Brayton. Stewart's directly behind Brayton.
He's got a clear line through that 12-pack. Here we go. Stewart, just a few jumps separate him from another win. James Stewart takes it in Freestone. It's over here at Freestone. James Stewart has won in dramatic fashion, and there's his dad, Big James Stewart. And you think they're happy?
from the
one
outside.
Of the Hondas. That's going to be the 32. Tommy Hahn, zone, off to a good start in third.
Just getting blasted right here, heading up the first hill, and it looks like of our two front runners in the championship already made moves and has passed Ryan Dungey here before the first half of the first lap. And that just tells me how aggressive and how confident James Stewart is from the drop.
It's gone around Dungey, and it's gone around short as well. It's looking to attack Weimer. And there goes Stewart.
Well, Alessi has always been so sharp here. You know, this is
here to try to get around Alessi.
Well, I tell you, things are so dialed in here for the number 7 of James Stewart.
Whoa.
Look at that, right around the outside of Alessi.
Jeff, obviously these riders had practice earlier today, but this is a track made of dirt. It changes quite a bit. So is that risky to go this strong, this hard, when you're still kind of learning?
Look at that, right around the outside of Weimer, just not holding up. Everything for him is happening in slow motion. So that's how you can always go faster. And basically, I can, you know, drop a blanket over all these top riders. That's the advantage they have. I mean, basically, these guys are really riding at a high pace. You know, especially Tommy Hahn, who's been leading this race from the get-go.
Yeah, give a shout out to the 32, although I think he's about to give up the lead to Stewart right here as we begin another lap. And look at the countdown clock at the top of the screen. We count down from 30 minutes, and then when that expires, we'll put the 2 laps to go sign out.
And I get a clean track, and I put down hard, fast laps. Last weekend, he really had to focus on what was behind him, and James did an unbelievable job.
So now we'll focus back in on Hahn, who is second. Dungey is third on the orange bike. Going to try to use the same outside line that Stewart has made a couple passes with, and that leads him to the inside of the next corner. Dungey now to the number 2 spot.
Michigan, we got the red cross flag along with the yellow flag. That says downhill double. There's a rider down.
That's Stewart. It is Stewart who has gone down while leading this race.
Side is bent down. You notice all the mud on the right side of James's shoulder there.
There's a mechanic, Lee McCullum. They don't have radio communication with the riders, but they're just trying to figure out what has happened from an outside. Something is wrong. We're not sure if it's the machine or James himself. There's Roger Larson from Answer there trying to check in with him. Now the crew has come by to ask.
It looks like from the body language that James is favoring his right arm.
To go back and say what they did with this bike at this altitude last year. They came out, first shot at it, and they win the first moto here at Thunder Valley. And KTM has finally got themselves a victory.